It's Betsy from Cuttin Corners Vinyl in Nederland, Texas, and today's Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for another Crafting for Disney episode. And today we're doing something Hocus Pocus based. So, for today's tutorial, you'll need your t-shirt, which I'm just using a black t-shirt. You're also gonna need your vinyl, and we are using Deco Film Soft Metallic. So I'm using burnt orange, purple, gold, and charcoal. Now, our weekly WOW sale for this week is 20% off your entire purchase. Now, that sale ends on Sunday, October the 3rd of 2021. But if you'll give me a moment to change the camera angle, we will go over how to make it. I'm in Cricut Design Space. So the first thing I'm gonna need to do is go get my images. So I'm going to click on the image section. There we go. Now in search all image, I'm going to type in Hocus Pocus because that's the kind of files that I'm wanting to work with. So many different files. It may take a minute because Cricut Design Space has been running a little slowly. So as you can see, we have the Sanderson sisters. So I'm going to check all three if it will let me, to insert them into Cricut Design Space. And I may have to do them individually, it kind of just depends. But the whole set was $19.99, and because I have Cricut Access, I saved 20%, so it cost me $19.11 afterwards. So now I'm going to select all three of the sisters, Winifred, Mary, and Sarah, and add those to the canvas. Okay, and this is going to take a second, I'm sure, because everything does whenever it comes to Cricut. There we go. And actually, the main things that I need from them are their hair. So I'm actually going to delete everything except for their hair. There we go. Cute. Now, I'm going to type out my text. So it's going to be a muck, actually. A muck, a muck, a muck. That is one of my favorite parts from the, I'm guessing it's going to not be the original, it's going to be the original movie because they are doing a part 2. Plus, if you've ever seen the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular over at Disney World, it's pretty amazing. Now, I downloaded Vintage Kings. It's a font from Creative Fabrica. So, it might help if I spell vintage correctly. Okie dokie. So we're going to choose Vintage Kings. Oh, okay. That one's rough. We don't want the rough one. There we go. Okay. So now I want to go ahead and ungroup these. And I do want to take and move that away just a hair because I feel like it's a tad bit too close. So I'm just selecting the muck and the exclamation mark. I can't talk today. And we're just using the arrow key and moving it over one spot. So I'm going to take and weld that together. Weld that together. And weld that together. Oh, you know what? Actually, I don't want to do that yet. Okay, we're going to undo the weld. Okay, so now what I want to go ahead and do let's make this bigger for one thing, because that's kind of tiny, so I can see more of what I'm doing, because that's 3 inches wide. So we're going to go ahead and make that 10.5 inches wide. Okay, so now what I'm wanting to do is take our hair. Oh, undo that. And we're going to change the U to the hair. Move that forward. Send to the front. Okay, so you can kind of see what we're working with, and I'm kind of just playing with the layout. Okay. So I like that. So now I can take and weld those sections of letters together. And weld that together. And now weld all of this together. We're still going to move the hair to the front. And then I'm going to take and slice and get rid of the black behind it, and then I'm going to re-weld my hair together. So if I hide the hair, you can kind of see there it cut through. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing. Let's go ahead and get rid of the U. Let's move it to the front, because that it definitely helps to see kind of how this is laying out, is whenever it is moved to the front. So let's make it a tad bit bigger. Okay, so I like it like that. So again, we'll select the last 3 letters, weld, grab that, our M and our A, weld. Now I'm going to take Mary's hair and move it to the front. And I'm going to select that amok, and we're going to slice it. There we go. We're going to get rid of the black part of it, and we're going to go ahead and weld Mary's hair back together. Perfect. So now I can take and move that together again. And one of the things I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to group those 2 lines of text together, so that way it makes it a little bit easier to work with, because when I go to align it. Now let's grab the last amok, move it up closer. Okay, now let's delete our U. Now we'll grab Sarah's hair. Okay, and again, I'm going to go ahead and move this to the front, because I think that that's what works best when I'm lining this up. So again, okay, so I like how that looks. So we're going to select all of our letters and weld. Oh, don't want to do that. Weld that. Okay, move Sarah's hair to the front. Now we're going to select that and slice. There we go. Now I'm going to get rid of the charcoal gray portion, and I'm going to go ahead and weld together Sarah's hair. Okay, now I want to go ahead and group. There we go. Now let's move this so I can see more of what I'm doing. Okay, so now I'm going to select all three. We're going to go up here and go to align centers horizontal. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay. Oh, those are not grouped. That's why. I was like, why did that move? Group. Now, let's grab it all. Align. Centers horizontally. Perfect. Okay. Now I want to select the bottom two, and I want to move it up just a hair so you can see that it is identical with the lower. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Perfect. So I love, love, love how this is looking. So I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to ungroup it. And I'm going to go ahead and weld our amok together. Okay. Now I do want to add a little bit more text, and we're going to have it say, it's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus. And I am capitalizing our design. Okay, so I want to make this much, much smaller. So let's change the size of this down to 10.5. Perfect. Now I want to go ahead and select everything again, and we're going to align our centers. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to take all three of this because and we're going to group it so that way it makes things stay together. Now we can realign. Okay. Align centers. Yep. Now let's try that one more time. Sometimes, as you can see, things don't always want to work out the way that you want them. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, that's what our text, oh, what happened to our image? Oh. Let's go forward one. Okay, let's make sure everything again is aligned centers. Perfect. Okay. Now I want to move it's a bunch of Hocus Pocus text just a hair up, and I'm going to go ahead and weld that text together. I'm going to choose that line, and we're going to choose Sarah's hair, and we're going to slice. And I'm going to get rid of the little gray portion, and I'm going to go ahead and weld Sarah's hair back together. Now I do want to take and add just the slightest bit of offset on our, it's just a bunch of Hocus Pocus, if it wants to work. Okay, I don't know if it's going to do the offset. Okay. Let's try that one more time. Okay, It's not wanting to do. It's fine because I love the way the design looks already. So I'm going to go ahead and weld together the charcoal all. So this is what the design of the shirt is going to look like. I think it's absolutely adorable. So we're going to go up here to the top and we're going to click on Make It. Move my window back over. We are going to choose on the mat because we're using the Deco Film Soft Metallics and they're definitely not Cricut Smart Vinyl. And I'm going to go ahead and mirror our designs. There we go. Okay, so we want to double check to make sure a mirror is on all 4 of our mats. Okay, we're going to click Continue. And we're going to go to Popular and we're going to choose Everyday Iron On. And I'm going to choose the setting, Remember Material Settings. So, if you'll give me a moment to change the camera angle, I will show you how to put the shirt. You can see I have my t-shirt laid out on my heat press. Since I am using the Deco Film Soft Metallic, the heat press is preheated to 305 degrees. Now I'm using my 16-inch t-shirt guide because I have a 16-inch t-shirt, a 16-inch press. So here is the charcoal gray layer, and we're gonna fold it in half, just like we always do. There we go. And lay that on the shirt. And as you can see, it's going to have more of a tone-on-tone look, which is something I enjoy, but because this is a metallic, it will come out shiny. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and cover. And we're gonna heat this for about 5 to 7 seconds. Nothing too long, because again, the Deco films don't require a long time for heating or anything like that. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our hair while this is cooling, because you do need to wait till this is cool to remove it unless you want it to be more distressed. So that looks good to me. So just removing that clear backing. There we go. Okay, that looks good. So now we can start placing our hair. So we've got Winifred's hair, or Winnie. Okay, then we have Mary's hair. Oh, got a little piece of gold from Sarah's hair stuck to it. Okay, now sometimes, as I've said before, vinyl changes shape and size. Whenever you heat it, it can stretch just like anything else. So let's go ahead and make sure that is lined up perfectly. Okay, perfect. Now, one thing I am gonna do is I'm gonna grab some scissors, because if you look where where Mary and Winifred's hair meets, there is some overlap of plastic, and I don't want that to get stuck under her hair. Okay, so that looks good. Now let's do Sarah's. Last but certainly not least is Sarah. Okay, there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and cover with the Teflon sheet, and we're gonna go ahead and heat this for about 5 to 7 seconds. And while that's heating, and we're fixing to change everything over, I did want to remind you that the weekly wow sale for this week is 20% off your entire purchase, and that sale ends on Sunday, October the 3rd of 2021 at 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if those are cool enough to lift off. Looks good to me. I love how this looks. I think this looks so, so good. Okay, so I like how that looks. Now I'm gonna cover one more time because as you can see with this Deco Film Soft Metallic, with as soft as it is, it has lines from where the plastic was laid on top of each other. So I like to go ahead and reheat to make sure to get rid of those lines. You know, it's not something that you have to do, but I heat it for 5 to 7 seconds, that kind of thing. And it really does help. Because now you can see there are no more lines. Look how absolutely adorable this came out. I love everything about this shirt, and hopefully you do too. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down below. And if you hit the notification bell icon next to it, that will notify you when I post new videos, which is typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with a live on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I guess that's it, so we'll see y'all later. Bye.